find that metabolic balance is very tailored to women, not just going through menopause, but also post-menopause, because often women are unaware that during that phase with the change of hormones, because I'm post-menopause, we become insulin resistant. And most women notice that what they have done for years, the way they've eaten, the way they've exercised, it's not working for them anymore. And that's where metabolic balance does come in, because of course what you've been doing before isn't working because your hormones are not the way they were in your reproductive years. And so metabolic balance works on so many mechanisms on a biochemical level and systems level. But one of the things I love is that it does help with insulin sensitivity. So it works beautifully for women in menopause.
Hello and welcome to the Metabolic Balance Stories podcast. This is where we share some real stories and insights into personalized nutrition and metabolic balance and working with real food and water and hydration to actually get people healthy and well. I'm Cherry Wills and I'm your host, and today I'm delighted to welcome Melisa Byrne. Melisa is a very experienced metabolic balance practitioner. She's a naturopath and nutritionist based in Adelaide. And Melisa has been using metabolic balance in practice for 13 years now. So she's highly experienced. So it's wonderful to get her insights as well. And also, Melisa is a former lecturer. She lectured for 8 years with one of the top colleges in Australia for naturopathy and nutritional medicine. So we are joined by very much an excellent expert here as well. So Melisa, hello.
Hi, Cherry. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'm very grateful for you to join me. So to start off with, can you just how did you hear about metabolic balance sort of back when you did? What led you to find it?
That's a good question. I was nearing the end of my degree, and a lecturer that I had the privilege of being taught by, he was, I trusted him and I had a lot of respect for him. He really had a high value of evidence-based practice, and he said, I think you might be interested in an eating plan. It's not a diet, in that it's using whole food, but it's scientific. And there's going to be an information session around the program. It's Metabolic Balance. And he said, I've been looking at it and I think it's really worthy of finding out more, especially if you want to be an evidence-based practitioner. And that was my hook. I went to the information session, introduced by him, and I haven't looked back since.
Fantastic. So what's your particular... I do know you specialise in menopause. You specialise in supporting women sort of perimenopause, during menopause, post-menopause. And so where is it that you see the real benefits of metabolic balance then for your practice?
Well, as we both know, any adult over 18, there are very few that wouldn't benefit from metabolic balance. But being in the niche that I am, I find that metabolic balance is very tailored to women in this phase of life, and not just going through menopause, but also post-menopause, because often women are unaware that during that phase with the change of hormones, I would say we, because I'm post-menopause, we become insulin resistant. And most women notice that what they have done for years, the way they've eaten, the way they've exercised, it's not working for them anymore. And that's where metabolic balance does come in, because, of course, what you've been doing before isn't working because your hormones are not the way they were in your reproductive years. And so metabolic balance works on so many mechanisms on a biochemical level and systems level. But one of the things I love is that it does help with insulin sensitivity. So it works beautifully for women in menopause.
Yeah. And over the years, are there any specific sort of cases or clients that you would really say that like cemented your experience with MB? Because obviously with practitioners, we're evidence based, but at the same time, we still need to see the results, don't we? We can read that there's evidence backing something up, but until we're like work with a client and we actually start to see some real results happening, sometimes you still go, is this really going to work? And where do you think that you saw that like, can you remember back when you really started to see that there was some real results coming through for you?
Definitely. I mean, the clinical evidence is deemed as part of scientific evidence. And you're right, it's not until you're working with clients and they're presented with their individualized nutrition plan, and often a client will say, oh, there's some foods there I don't normally eat. And that's one of the things. They can be pleasantly surprised, but often they might say, oh, well, I don't normally eat those foods. And I'll say, well, first thing, what you've been doing isn't working. And so this is a really good opportunity for you to find out if eating foods that have been that are right for your body and that has been found through your blood tests, whether they will work for you. And thinking about a particular client, I had a client that had come to me, and she had found me on the internet, looked at my website and my socials, and she said, I'm very curious. I was vegan. I was vegan years ago. I've been vegetarian for 10 years, but I suddenly find myself in my mid-40s, 10 kilos overweight, hardly eating, exercising 6 times a week, and feeling absolutely fatigued. And obviously something isn't working for me. And she decided to do metabolic balance because she was very curious to know whether getting an eating plan of foods that were right for her was going to actually work for her energy, for her metabolism. And it meant that she didn't have to go to the gym 6 days a week. So she was open to having not just eggs and milk, but meat on her program. And I said, let's just see what comes back for you. And of course, meat was in her program. And she said, I have made a piece that, and after talking to me on the discovery call, she said, I'm embracing my food list. And it doesn't mean it was easy for her, But within a short time, she could see that her energy was so much better, and she started releasing weight. And I've got many clients that I've had those results, but I think she was a bit of a standout because she had had these food preferences for a long time, and it was a big step for her to admit, hang on, maybe this isn't working for me, and I'm prepared to change my eating preferences to eat more meats. And she said, I can't believe how much different I feel and how much it is working for me. So this is what I love about metabolic balance, is that often what we think is right for us may not be right for us. And that's what we get to find out when we get our own plan.
It's that objective. It's the objectiveness of the analysis, isn't it? Because to me, what you've just described is what I always refer to as the difference between preference nutrition and personalized nutrition. Because the preference is really what we choose, what we've read in a book, or what we've decided on, that we had the style of eating that we want to eat based on whatever the reason. And there are always valid reasons why we might choose anything, and it's nothing about that. But that choice doesn't necessarily mean that it's really right for our bodies, our genetics, our actual fundamental functioning of our bodies. And that's where an objective analysis, this is the blood test that identifies what you need, and now is identified the foods that would be ideal for you. That's essentially what MB is.
Absolutely. Often, because we are very subjective of our own health, and we can be quite protective over our food choices, and we like to justify why, of course, but it doesn't always equate to meeting our nutritional requirements, and we can be quite deficient and not really think that we are. Often people, even if they're feeling tired, even if they're not sleeping, even if they are getting cravings, they're not always linking that to nutritional deficiencies, and they are often a driver of why we are going to certain foods. It's not the only reason, of course, but we don't look at the fundamental aspect of nutritional deficiencies affecting not only those symptoms, but also why we're craving and why we're fatigued.
It's an incredibly complex situation, actually. What truly makes us choose anything? It can be the marketing we've seen for a food. It could be what we've been told as a young child that makes us want to have a food or not have a food, or the style of eating, and all of that is incredibly subjective and leads people to the choices we make. And I think that's where I often see the analysis that you get with MB. It is that truly objective approach. And I love, like what you said about, the client that you were remembering. She had that spark of curiosity to say, I just wonder, I'm open to, I'm interested. I'm open to hearing actually what my body needs, not necessarily what I read on the latest social media, like Instagram reel, or or what so and so next door is eating. I actually just want to know what my body needs, and then you can work with her to find the right way of implementing it in her own way.
Absolutely. I think, as we both know, an aspect in health is we just get decision fatigue. What foods are actually right for us? What should I eat tonight? Should I be eating the same as the family? Hang on, I don't feel like I'm a healthy BMI. And so the part about metabolic balance that is brilliant with many other aspects is the fact that what you're wondering about, and a lot of women in menopause are looking at what is right for me, what is going to help me with my health from here onwards. And I really feel that this is, dare I say, the holy grail to knowing what your body needs. Is there's no superior nutrition approach than that. And that's what I love, is that it's taking the guesswork out, it's taking that decision and flipping about with different ways of eating, even as we know, fasting and time restricted eating. I know a lot of women are coming in and saying, I'm trying that, and it's not working. But as I say, yes, it can be good to have a good non-eating window, but it's not telling you what you should eat when you are eating. So it's only half of the picture to me.
It's only one little segment of the whole window of, you know, what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, quantities, combinations, you know, how to manage your whole week and month, and then all your everything adding into that as well. The movement and mindset is another essential component. Yeah, I mean, we hear all these things that, you know, there's a single studies, and then people, you know, like you say, decision fatigue. I think it's endless conflicting information fatigue as well, because there's always something else that's going to come out. Oh no, you need to try this. Oh no, you need to try that. And I actually say, even as a practitioner, this simplicity and the practicality of just being able to say common sense stuff as well. It's so common sense stuff, isn't it? They're just, you know, beautiful fresh food, drinking beautiful water, you know, at the right times, in the right ways.
I think we've managed to overcomplicate nutrition.
I agree. Yes, we really have, haven't we?
And even to sit down with a client and when I'm first discussing about them considering, like, offering metabolic balance as a solution to that client, they'll say, well, what's involved? And I'll say, well, it's 3 meals a day, and you don't eat between meals because your body will be able to get fuel from fatty acids as it should be, but obviously it's not for you. And it's not a miraculous thing that I'm telling them, and I feel that way when I say that. But I think we've forgotten some of those really, I think, basic principles about eating balanced and not skipping meals and not depriving our body of what it needs when we need energy for fuel. So I think we've moved so far away from those common sense things, and the plethora of information is clouding people quite a lot. And the thing is, it is metabolic balance grounded in science, but really common sense, and bringing back people to those fundamental things of 3 meals a day, hydrate well. Even the apple a day, I think my mum used to say that. So it feels, it sort of brings me back to my youth that my mum would always have the fruit bowl full of apples, and it's some of it. It's just it's not complicated.
It's clearing that cloudy landscape that we're in of all the different things that sort of people claim, the endless claims and the endless miracle solutions, that actually doesn't even make any sense, that you can just do, take some product and then suddenly you're going to be amazingly healthy. That doesn't even make sense. So, as a practitioner, you are working with women every day who are in this space of confusion and lack of results and not knowing where and what they need to be doing. And you've found that MB can help.
It's very empowering too, to know exactly what your body needs, and to know that I refer to it as, you get unleaded fuel and you get premium unleaded fuel. This is the premium. Metabolic balance is giving your body an opportunity to run on premium unleaded, meaning your fatty acids, and then you're getting glucose after you eat, but your blood glucose isn't rising too high, and it's giving you sustained energy over the long term. It's going to be brilliant for your, not just metabolic health, but your blood vessels, your brain health. Uh, it's just, I just think it's empowering to have your own program that does that for you. And many of my clients, when they feel so good, and then they notice that they get the weight down and they get their weight into a healthy weight range, they just feel so empowered that they were able to adapt to eating in a balanced way, and quite a lot of them start enjoying foods that they haven't tried before, and they may not have if unless they'd had their own plan. I think the big ones are the goat's cheese. Who knew goat's cheese was just amazing? I get a lot of people that will say, I'll say, what have been some of the really positive things about your plan? And they'll say, oh, I never imagined that I'd love the goat cheese so much. I don't know if you get told that a lot, Cherry. I certainly do. I love it. I do love that. Um, and just even some of their food combinations that they wouldn't have enjoyed. I know myself and my own plan that my great food discovery was celeriac. Who knew? But uh, I
I love celeriac as well. Yeah, I'm quite celeriac soup is I think is quite delicious. Yeah.
so I think to know that there are foods other than just your potato and sweet potato, and to have kohlrabi or celeriac, and have parsnip and pumpkin. So different food combinations with ghee. Just love it. And so people feel motivated and empowered by eating differently, having foods they wouldn't have tried unless they got their plan. Um, and that all equates to feeling good and getting the results that they wanted with their, whether it's in their bloods, not going on cholesterol medication, or coming off medication, as well as getting to their weight. it's brilliant for so many reasons.
How much of the plan do you feel that you will amend and tweak for a client? Because one of the things that I do believe very strongly is that while we get an amazing, yes, we know the analysis can give us the food plan and the menu plan, the food list and the menu plan. At the same time, that's only very much the analysis, but then the actual application of and helping somebody really make the plan their own takes that human touch, which is really where the practitioner is vital. So, you've got lots of experience over the years of different people supporting different people. Do you have any, and how much do you tweak it?
I love that question. I only tweak it if a client becomes resistant a little bit. So if I have a client that isn't overly excited about some of their protein choices, and when they came to me, they may say, well, I mainly eat chicken, and I see chicken for a breakfast, I tend to say, look, let's see how you go the first few weeks. I don't want us to stray from what the analysis has come up for you. And then after that, then I think we can look at having poultry in for lunch or dinner. Because I would rather a client, I want to set them up for success. And as much as in the ideal world, a client would love every food on their list, the practicality is it doesn't always work that way. And I'm always determined to support them so that they get that success. And if it means that they're going to have poultry for lunch or dinner, then it's not going to detract from the results. If anything, if it keeps them engaged and enthused, I will make those adjustments. And I also do that if a client gets past those first 16 days, phase 1, and then phase 2, 14 days of no oils, some people want to go back to the gym, and they know in the first 14 days that they should do only light exercise. But if they're used to doing aerobic classes or a bit of strength, then sometimes I will change the amounts if they are finding they get more hungry.
Well, yeah, that's I think what you're like I hope what you're what I'm hearing is it's this real recognition that the practitioner is there to see the real person as well, not just say, okay, this is what you plan, this is what you have to do. We need to have that human touch 100%, don't we? Because it's you're dealing with making it really work long term.
Definitely. And that's where the coaching comes into it. The coaching is a vital part of the whole program. It helps people if they're going away to answer questions on, well, I have a holiday booked. What do I do as far as the program goes? And it's just giving them reassurance and reminding them to trust the program, trust themselves if they're unable to follow the program 100%. As a coach, we're supporting, guiding them, but giving them really good nutrition information. And they can't do that with a self-paced course. They can't get that. They do. they do need the professional guidance as well.
And that's what the research also says too. I mean, the research, it's hard. Lifestyle change is actually really hard when you're doing it by yourself. And and I think that's one of the big, reasons why MB has the success it has, 100%, because when you're supported with any kind of lifestyle change, you can ask those questions, get the answers you need, and then implement things so much more, securely and with confidence.
Oh, definitely. I know that if a client wasn't to have that support, I don't think that they would get the outcomes that they do with the coaching. I'm fairly confident they won't. They won't reach their goals. They'll lose interest.
Yeah, I agree. Is there I'm just, I suppose, to have any sort of extra insights for people from your experience and of using it over 13 years now. Where are the further insights that you've seen that just have been some aha moments, or just even funny, or just heartwarming? Because there's all these different memories I have as well.
Yeah. Look, I'll probably finish, when we finish, I'll probably have so many clients that'll come to mind, but I think the ones of more recent, a client working with me, her goal was to release about 7 kilos, and she's done that fairly easily. But an amazing thing with her is she has suffered brain fog for many, many years, and her diet wasn't particularly unhealthy, but I know that it really upset her that she has felt this way. And in the consultation, when she first came, she was trying to find words, and she was stumbling over words, and then she cried and said, I've struggled with this for at least 20 years and I can't get answers. And so she, of course, not only did her program, but within 2 weeks, she came for her coaching session and she just spoke fluid. And I said, what's happened with the brain fog? She said, it's gone. And I said, has anyone else noticed this? She said, well, I've noticed it. But she said she had run into a friend, and her friend said, wow, you seem really energetic. And she said this friend commented about how she was just speaking so quickly. And I think that comes back. Part of me thinks for this client, it's the gut, because she wasn't getting any simple sugars. And we talked about this, and she said the last time that she was able to have this clearness in thought and be able to remember things and say, just talk fluently. She said many years ago she did a Candida diet, the old famous Candida diet, no sugar, no vinegar. And of course, we know with metabolic balance, there's no simple sugars, there's no vinegary sauces. And she said the only other time I felt this way was when I did that Candida diet years ago. And so we know that the program is great for the gut. It's probably not only giving the body what it needs, but we're not feeding those opportunistic or overgrowth or candida. So there's probably a die-off of those pathogenic bacteria, which we know through lipopolysaccharides crossing the blood-brain barrier for some people, that just causes the brain fog. So I have found often, and I love that with MB, people find and say straight away, my bloating's gone. In this particular client, she didn't really have hardly any gut symptoms, but she had all the neurological symptoms of a bacteria overgrowth. So I love how the program works on the gut.
Yeah. Well, it's just food, isn't it, at the end of the day? And that's one of the biggest things that will impact the health of the gut. And reducing that inflammaging and general inflammation and restoring microflora balance and autophagy, everything is really can be triggered into having that opportunity.
Yeah. So, and we're not eating because there are the gaps between meals, we're not stressing the gut out. We're not stressing the pancreas out through making lots of insulin. So it's really pleasing when people notice that their gut feels better. But of course, there's been the clients where psoriasis cleared up within a week. And most people comment, oh, my skin is shiny and I haven't had this shine for a long time. So the beautiful flaxseed oils and the oils that come in, the hydration, it makes such a difference. But there's been many clients. I've had husband and wives working together. I love working with husband and wives. They're wonderful support for one another, and they get success. I just love, I love that too.
It's lovely when you see people sort of through health, they get healthy together, and then they just grow together as well. They sort of they reconnect. They can reconnect, because I think so often ill health sadly disconnects couples as well, doesn't it? I think I see that when you're struggling with fatigue and you're struggling with just discomfort and distress, that is not a recipe for a couple to be connected and really feel intimate as well. And so I think, that's one of the things I always really like is working. But just helping one person in a couple get well also means that everybody can get along again so much nicer too.
I think they're very unified. As you said, it's very connecting, but we are connected through food. The sociology of food is food connects us and meals connect us. But yes, I love how they shop together. They plan their meals together, and yes, their food lists may change, but it does unify them and connect them, and they have that common goal of health. And it's really satisfying to see the results that they get. And if there are children in the house and they might have teenagers, then it's having a ripple effect with their children as well. So that's really pleasing, working with couples with MB.
Yeah. Thank you, Melisa. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you and just share your insights from over the years. If anybody would like to find out more, Melisa, what's your website?
Yeah, thanks, Cherry. www.melisabyrnenaturopath.com.au.
Thank you. And there'll also be notes in the show notes as well. We can put some information there. But of course, Metabolic Balance is available from practitioners around the world, around Australia and New Zealand and around the UK. So please reach out to your local practitioner too if you're intrigued, if you're curious as to what your foods could be. I think that's the parting shot that, again, from where we started, Melisa, it's that curiosity is so cool when you allow it and you say yes, because it was your curiosity even that brought you to MB when you were first told about it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's definitely the best thing that I've done as far for many reasons, but to be able to help more people with individualized nutrition, it's superior.
It's kind of why we've become practitioners, isn't it? I mean, this is why we have done the years of training and spent the thousands of dollars and thousands of pounds in my case of actually to do your training, with your degrees, and you just want to help people know their food.
Well, at the beginning, when I used to explain, and I still do, when I will see a client, I'll say, a new client, I'll say, the reason I am a metabolic balance practitioner is it falls within naturopathic principles of treating the whole person and a whole food approach and going to the underlying cause. So, and I felt it right at the beginning, and I still do.
Yeah, because the results do. It's incredible what whole food can do for a human body. And when I even say that statement, it's incredible, I think, well, it's really obvious too, because that's the only thing that fuels our cells, our systems, our organs, all the metabolic pathways. It's the only thing that really fuels them is our food. And so we shouldn't really be that surprised when we see, the changes that we do see from the right food.
Yeah, definitely. And we see it proven over and over again with our clients.
Yeah. Thank you, Melisa. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. And if anybody is intrigued, curious about Metabolic Balance, do check out our website, get in touch with your local practitioner, and get your plan and see what it can do for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.